Johnny.
Hello and welcome in. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, post-game edition, your premier Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. We're here live in sunny Miami, Florida. I'm Johnny Venerable, Brack, Craig Morgan, Damon, Dawg. Capacity crowd here at the Marriott. Cards win. They beat the Miami Dolphins on the road, led by Kyler Murray and company, 28-27, a last-second field goal by our guy Chad Ryland. So much to talk about. I do want to remind everybody, this post-game show, presented by our friends at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use the bonus code PHNX365 when you sign up. Choose your offer. Find out why. It's never, not even for a moment, ordinary. This is an unordinary experience. The Cardinals have not won 2 games in a row since 2021.
Oh my gosh.
They have won 3 of 4, and they are a Buffalo Bills win today. Check my watch. First place in the NFC West.
That's unbelievable. I mean, inexplicable. I mean, as far as you look at all the ways to describe even this win itself, how did they get here, right? And it was a 13-play, 70-plus yards. Chad Ryland for the 3rd time in 4 weeks.
Yep.
You know, walking it off. I mean, 2 of the last back-to-back wins for the first time, as you said, since 2021. What are they doing? In the offense, it finally opened things up. Marvin Harrison Jr. arrived, and Kyler Murray was dealing all along the way. Craig, like, I feel a little bad. Like, all the great people here that traveled with us, True Fan Travel, Johnny and Damon, they got to experience it there in the crowd. We were in the reserved, press box where people were, just dead silent watching that thing unfold.
You couldn't celebrate, Craig? You didn't get your pom-poms out?
No.
Okay.
Stuck behind glass.
I appreciate that.
When you look at the defensive numbers in particular in this game, but some other numbers as well, you would come away with the impression there's no way the Cardinals won this game.
Yeah.
I want to read a Kelvin Beachum quote. That will be in my column tomorrow, and I hope you read that column. It'll be in my column later tonight. You play this game long enough, you realize a win is a win. Sometimes they're beautiful. Sometimes they're blowouts. Sometimes you play extremely well. Sometimes you play like trash. Today, we played like trash, but we found a way to win.
Is he talking specifically about the offensive line
I think he was talking specifically about the line because there were obviously good pieces to this game today, but you could nitpick a lot of stuff today. But again, they won the game. They
found
4-4, and as Johnny mentioned, they could own a piece of first place or own first place outright. What am I saying?
Yeah, I didn't actually think they played that bad. I thought they withheld the emotion that came with Tua's return, like before the game, the thunderous applause, and rightfully so, for the return of Tua. And that game could have easily been 14-0, the blink of an eye, and give the Cardinals credit. Defensively, I thought they battled extremely well in the first half to keep it close enough for the offense to finally get going and turn it on. Now, I know the second half, you don't want to give up 27 points total, but I think a lot of us assume if you're going to win this game, you had to win it this kind of way. So, again, offense scores 21 points in the second half. That's why they won, albeit 2 points off of safety. So, I'll disagree with Big Kelvin Beachum. I thought after that first possession, where Miami was gifted a couple fumble recoveries and the Cardinals subsequently went 3 and out, didn't look good offensively, I thought the Cardinals controlled this game. Certainly, they had the better quarterback in this game. The defense, give them credit. And please, Monti Ossenfort, for the love of God, make an addition. They did just enough. They played physical. They played fast. I thought the linebackers, the back seven. So, I mean, like, I've seen the Cardinals play significantly worse. We all have this year.
Right. No, they found a way. The resiliency. I mean, this was a team that was down 27-18.
Yeah.
You had Tua scramble for a first down deep into the red zone that turned into a walk-in touchdown.
Yep.
Or it might have been a pass, actually, to Achan. To kind of, it felt like that could have been the nail in the coffin. I mean, Tua's sitting there. He does the first down point. The crowd's going wild. Yep. Everybody's chanting his name. Yeah. Tua, and then next thing you know, the Arizona Cardinals, they found a way. They answered right back with a touchdown of their own. They cut in the lead, and then they get off the field. Felt like the first time all game. 11 for 15, the Dolphins were on third down conversions. But look, it was 11 for 14 before that. So they got off the field, and they gave Kyler Murray and this offense a chance, and they were just absolutely dealing. I mean, between Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr., both were 1A and 1B as far as the options in this passing attack. Yeah. It was spectacular to watch. I mean, and they absolutely had to have it with, the give credit to the Dolphins bottling up this rushing attack.
Yeah, I think the Arizona Cardinals did just enough on the ground, specifically in the second half. But, I'll give Drew Petzing credit on this podcast because we haven't seen this dynamic of this passing game led by Marvin Harrison Jr., the differential looks that they had. They moved him all over the place. He played inside. He played outside. Trey McBride was a focal point. Like, their two best players in the passing game helped win them this game. We're going to talk about that as the show progresses. But you're not going to win this game rushing for 150 yards. I think today hopefully taught Drew Petzing a very valuable lesson. Who ran the football well today? Miami Dolphins. Who's walking home with an L? Like, sometimes you got a $50 million quarterback and you've got the better players in the passing game, at least today. Lean on them. The chunk plays were there, right? The Cardinals had to score how many points? 27-18, and there was like 9 minutes left. You're not going to do that by nickel and diamond on the ground for 4, 5, 6 yards per carry. You got to do that with, what does JG say? Big explosives, right? Yeah. We saw that today. And then as the game progressed, you got Marvin Harrison Jr. more and more comfortable with being the go-to option. He thrived in that role, big-time clutch gene from number 18, instead of, hey, 2 targets in the first quarter, thanks for coming, thanks for playing.
But at least I think that those 2 targets actually kind of set the tone. I mean,
sure, I'm talking about more so in prior games.
I mean, the first target that he received, it was a 25-yard explosve. And you're like, okay, let's get this going. And this was on the second series after a dud of a first series for the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah. And I think there's a little encouragement. Like, they only had 3 offensive series in the first half. And it was a product of the Dolphins, their offense being on the field, right? Yeah. But it was 13-7 going into the locker room. Yeah. And you felt like you saw some nice things offensively from them. And, like, you get the big play from Trey McBride to open up the second half. He's hurdling guys. He's Ricky Bobby. Oh, I'm flying through the air. And then they make a bad play. They start to go backwards. You're like, uh-oh, here we go again. But then they are able to kind of find it. You talk about the quarterback play. I mean, you can very well just put this loss onto just the fact that he had a snap go right through his hands, and they have to kick it through the illegal bat it through the end zone. And that safety, that started to change things for the Arizona Cardinals.
I thought it did too. And their ball security was atrocious today. They had fumbles. They had drops. There was a lot going on with the Miami Dolphins today. But getting back to the Cardinals offense, we both said it. Like, even after he got his second catch, Marvin Harrison, we both looked at each other. Okay, he's good for the rest of the first half. They're not going to throw to him again.
He's done.
Because that's what we've learned to expect. Yeah. But, man, how the touchdown catch in particular, that's one of the plays of the season. Yeah. Everything from the read, Kyler looking off him, then going back to the read. The throw was right on the money. And then the catch and the drag, that was a beautiful, beautiful play. And that's what you get with Marvin Harrison Jr.
The catch
when you involve him.
Yeah, the catch on the sideline that they challenged, and Marvin was as animated as he can get. And kudos to him. And they just kept cooking. I love the play where he caught it almost in between 2 defenders in the second half. And this is the best stat. Not 6 for 11. How about 6 of 7 in terms of his targets? 7 targets. He came down with almost all of them. You couple that with McBride, 9 for 11. I mean, that we talked about
National Tight Ends Day, by the way.
That's true. Yeah, for all those who celebrate. This was the triplets coming into the season that were going to dictate how this team was going to do. We knew it was going to be an offensive team. It's taken them, maybe this is the turning point, but subsequently 8 weeks to get here. Like, this is what, it's cliche. This is what it should look like every week, because I saw people hooting and hollering after the game. Well, they did this against Miami's vaunted pass defense. It shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter if it's this defense or the Commanders or the Packers. Like, the offensive line hasn't given up a sack in 3 games. Now, a lot of that is Kyler Murray and his maneuverability in the pocket. But at the same time, you've always had these weapons. These guys have been here since week 1. As much as I love James Conner, like, the offense shouldn't run through a running back when you have a $50 million quarterback, the 4th player in the draft, and what is now, I think, unquestionably the best tight end in the NFL.
It's a beautiful thing to see. Trey McBride, for the 3rd time in his career, over 100 yards receiving, 124 through the air. Kyler Murray, his first 300-yard performance since 2022. That was that Vikings loss.
Yeah.
It's been far too long to see those types of performances. But, yeah, I think Drew Petzing took the restrictor plate off of this offense here late in the second half, and it got the job done. Like, they were unstoppable. I mean, if you look at their drive chart, like, they get the safety, they go touchdown, they give up a touchdown, they go back down, they score again, and then they force the punt, and then they march right down the field. And it wasn't without adversity, right? I mean, they come out and they get a good play to start that series, and then Paris Johnson Jr. tackles somebody and gets called for a holding.
Yeah.
And it's, first and 20, first and 18, and then you're able to make up that with Marvin Harrison Jr. making a big catch for you.
Yeah.
It was all over the place. It was a team win. Jonathan Gannon's giving credit to Kenny Bell for having him challenge that play.
Yeah.
That you absolutely had to have. Another spectacular catch from Marvin Harrison Jr. and to the Marvin touchdown. What did Marvin say in the postgame? Like, that was from quarterback coach Israel Wolford. He's wanted to dial that play up, and I'm sure that little look off, that probably came from the QB coach. So you had everybody contributing to this win. And being able for them to go even their record at 4-4 and have a chance at first place here in Week 8.
We're going to get to some presser clips here in just a second. Anything notable, Craig and Bo, from the head coach? Specifically, any stories that you may want to divulge? Keep in mind, this is a family show.
I really can't say what he said right after the game.
Yeah.
And honestly, he didn't say it to us. Obviously, the door was closed, but you couldn't help. They were thin walls. I'll say that.
Absolutely.
So I tweeted out what he said. I can't say it on this show. But Bo Brock did catch a glimpse of OC Drew Petzing. How would you describe the look on his face?
A sense of relief, I think, but also like I like a confident kind of relief, right? Like finally it happened, right?
Well, we were sitting at halftime. They had 7 points. And it's like, oh, my God, here we go again. They're on pace for 14, 15 points.
That was you
score 2
on the
touchdowns.
halftime show.
That was literally me, and I know the diehards here. I may have been egging them on, but this should be expected now. This should be the norm. This should be an outlier performance, and I don't think it will be. Damon, Dawg, let's get to the quarterback, QB1, Kyler Murray. Here is Kyler Murray fresh off a big-time road victory, moving the Cardinals to 4-4 in the NFC West.
I don't really see all the speculations and stuff because I don't really be on Twitter and stuff like that. But like, he hears it, I hear it. It's hard not to hear it, But at the end of the day, Dawg, he's got to be himself and just continue to get better each and every week. That's all we have to do. It's gonna get there. Shit don't happen overnight. You know what I mean? And it's I'm super proud of him today. He kind of took over. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was one of those moments where you felt like when I dropped back, especially that dig over the middle. When we got the holding penalty, catches it, takes a hit in the head. Still stays up. Like, those are the confidence builders. And I feel like this game was really big for him, for me, for us to get on that that page. And again, a guy like that, you just gotta give him opportunities. And I think that's a big deal.
Great stuff from Kyler Murray. Apologies for the language, but more from Kyler, JG, and company right around the corner on PHNX Cardinals. But first, excited to tell you about our friends at Circle K. It's America's thirst stop, and boy, we were thirsty after this game. And we were walking into this post-game show, and all 3 of us could use maybe a 79-cent Polar Pop or Froster right now via our friends at Circle K, the Inner Circle. Join the Inner Circle for free right now. Save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups, 3 cents per gallon every single day. It's great. You go in the Circle K app. You're an Inner Circle member, right? It's not an exclusive club. It's available for you to join right now. Just go to where it says discounts and look at all the ways you're going to be saving money with one of our preferred partners, our favorite partners, the OGs of partners here at PHNX Sports. Your favorite snacks deals whatever you want. Enjoy your member-exclusive beverage deal. Again, 79-cent Polar Pop or Froster. All you got to do right now, join the Inner Circle for free, Bo and Craig, by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for more details.
Elite, you need one. You need to wet your whistle right now.
I do.
You lost your voice.
Worth it.
It was worth it. Absolutely. And the Cardinals elevated their brand. You need to elevate your brand with our friends over at Branded Bills. We love Branded Bills. It's not just hats, but that's something that they do specialize in. If you need a snapback, a trucker, fitted beanies, you got the T-shirts as well. They're covered. You got you covered with performance and style. As I stumble all over myself looking for some gear to get your brand, whether it's your kid's little league team, your softball team, or maybe your company. You want to take it to the next level. Branded Bills is going to get you there. Go to brandedbills.com. They got the partnerships with the local universities, ASU, U of A, part of their campus collection. Celebrate your alma, whatever it may be. Local company out of Mesa, Arizona, but it's worldwide, but it's not going to be premium prices. They're going to get you set up nicely. Head to brandedbills.com. Use the code PHNX for 20% off your first order. That's brandedbills.com. Use the code PHNX for 20% off your first order.
Everybody be sure to drop a like on this stream. We appreciate it. Become a diehard. Go PHNX.com. We got our diehards here at the Marriott in Hollywood Beach, Florida. We are fired up here. Let's go. Let's get loud. Absolutely. I mean, here's what I will say. So, two things. Please don't sell your tickets ahead of these next two games. Arizona Cardinal fans, let's keep this momentum going. There was a portion in this game, you guys probably didn't see it or experience it in the press box. Cardinal fans got very loud at the end of the game ahead of that final game-winning kick drive with Kyler Murray and company. And then subsequently, it was great to see Miami Dolphin fans fraudulently lead the stadium before the kick even took place. So Cardinal fans, well represented here in South Beach. You love to see it.
Miami never leaves events
That's
early.
not a thing, right, Damon?
Right? They never leave events early. They've never done that infamously. It's never happened. Maybe in like a finals game or anything like that.
It was very much that on brand for them today.
That's unfortunate.
It was.
You'd love to see it. You absolutely. I'm glad that you all got to experience that in the stands.
Yeah.
I mean, this crew earned it today. I mean,
did.
everybody was out bright and early. We were ready for the bus at 7:45.
Yep.
Got to the tailgate, had an unbelievable time, and then you had to kind of you had to keep the faith through some very thin times throughout this game.
You know, we got to the point where I was sitting next to Coach Starks, and we got to the point, and Damon, like, hey, this is a good game. I'm enjoying watching
Coach
this
Stark
game.
deserves an award for sitting through a game with you.
I was surprisingly positive, and then I got
There's no chance.
I got real aggressive toward Miami fans, and that gave me life in the second half. But I do feel like we progressed very much from, hey, this is a good game. I'm glad we came to the game.
Yeah.
To they better win this game.
Mhm.
Like this final drive, Kyler Murray and company. Like Chad Ryland, I guess I owe Chad Ryland like the biggest apology. I've been a known Chad Ryland hater on this podcast, given the fact that his first kick was egregious, but subsequently now 3-game winners in the last 3 wins. Yeah, he's been fantastic, and they clearly have a ton of confidence in him. I mean, I was a little bit concerned. I don't know how you felt when they were running James Conner. It was kind of, let's go left, let's go right. We'll just get back to the line of scrimmage. It's clear, hey,
they were. I mean, he'd proven us to give him a little more confidence in that, but it's all right.
Yeah, I mean that 57-yarder. We did the halftime.
That's
show.
what should have given you a little confidence.
Well, I barely
they boomed it there from 57 yards.
Damon and I did the halftime show from the concourse. I'm running back to my seat. I don't make it back in time. I'm like, how'd they get to midfield? What's happening? And then him sinking that 57-yarder. I mean, they don't win the game without that.
Yeah, three game-winning field goals in 4 games now.
Yeah.
We've got the Elias Sports Bureau checking to see if that has ever happened in NFL history right now, because it's insane, right?
Yeah.
Is Prater getting Wally pipped here? Is that what's happening here?
I mean, like they're not gonna sit this kid while he's this hot. And then Matt Prater, was he not under contract next year? He's an older player. Chad Ryland, to me, like, he's got a special thing going. You ride this out, just like if you got a hot hand at the quarterback position, you ride it out. You don't, rip the rug out from under him. Hopefully, like, every game doesn't come down to this. It'd be nice for the Cardinals to win. Well, I mean, in hindsight, but can they win some comfortable games? Do we have to sweat out every game like this? But there is something to be said about, like, he feels very comfortable, obviously, with Clayton Tune, this whole staff, the special teams coach here. Like, he was egregiously bad last year, but we don't know the circumstances of why that happened. And kicker is such a mental game. Clearly, the Cardinals have A-plus special teams.
Right.
Their punter was sensational today.
Gillikin crushed it. He is the holder. Gillikin is the holder.
Okay, gotcha.
So, but 59-yard punt, 60-yard punt,
Yeah.
pinning them. I mean, it didn't work out well because the defense gave up points at the end of the half. But to pin them back like he did in the final 2 minutes, that was a great. Blake Gillikin the last 2 weeks has been nails for this team.
Exactly. And to get back to Chad Ryland for a moment, Jonathan talked about it after the game. The fact that you're willing to play the game the way you are, right? You're not going to try and punch it in the end zone. You're going to run the clock down, and you're going to rely on this guy who's been with you for a heartbeat.
Yeah.
You have that much confidence in him based on what you are seeing in practice. He's just been nails for them. So this is just another in a million great storylines in today's game.
And it's a play that won't get too much recognition. It shouldn't, but you're 3rd and 21. You get 6 yards to Trey McBride, and he puts you in position to kick that field goal to open up the second half. You got to have those points. And they were able to get that from 57 yards. I mean, you start getting, 57, you're not too confident in it. You're not confident in a 32-yarder.
No.
For them to get those yards that you would think in time, you're like, God damn it, like why didn't you try to push something down the field? It turns into points, and that was a big part of them coming back in this game.
Let's hear from head coach Jonathan Gannon immediately following this game. JG, of course, first Cardinal coach since 2021, won back-to-back games.
Yeah, I mean, at halftime, I don't know where we're down, but there's resiliency in that locker room, man. They've been through some battles. It hasn't went their way, but you keep doing the right things on a day-to-day basis, and you're going to give yourself a chance to win, and that's what we're doing.
Good stuff from the head coach. Good stuff from our X Factor player of the game. Who else? Quarterback Kyler Murray. I think this is the best performance of the year. I know statistically the LA game was better, but that felt like that game was wrapped up very quickly. Same thing with Marv. I thought Marv had his best game. Let's focus on the franchise quarterback. 326 total yards, over 300 yards passing, as you said, for the first time in several years. 2 touchdowns, a quarterback rating, 116.3. He was top 5 in QBR coming into this game. Don't imagine that changes much. And he was a better quarterback today. Like, I'm happy for Tua. I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's supposedly healthy. That's great for him. But Tua was begging to turn the ball over multiple times today. Multiple fumbles, including the one that went in the end zone for the safety. Jalen Thompson almost picked him off. Like, fair is fair. If the Cardinals had a real front seven, the Tua would have turned the ball over 3 times today. Whereas Kyler Murray has not had multiple interceptions in the game this year. He's only got 3 picks on the year. He hasn't been sacked in 3 weeks. He's got 12 touchdowns to 3 picks on the year. I mean, he's having a fantastic season. But this was the first time this year where you're like, hey, Kyler, can you just go and win us the game? Can you win us the game through the air? I mean, he's had back-to-back monster fourth quarters in the span of 6 games. He did it with his legs on Monday night against the Chargers, and then fast forward on a short week to come and have that kind of second half. I mean, it's just giving him confidence not only in his play caller, but this head coach. Like, he's the best quarterback in the division, and typically 9 times out of 10, that leads to a division title.
You talked about him being sackless today, and I think that's what Kelvin Beachum was getting at today. I don't think the line felt like it protected him all that well. But Kyler didn't get sacked because he was on the move today. That's obviously such a huge element of his game anyway. But today it was such a weapon. It was so important for him to be able to both elude the pressure and then make some of the plays that he made today. That's a game changer right there.
A low stat-wise yardage on the ground, 19 yards. But you were telling me before we went live, how crucial was it? 3rd and 4, about 1:45 left in the game, and they're trying to salt the game away, trying to get the clock all the way down to 1 before kicking it. And they needed that. He gets 7 yards on the ground with his legs. I mean, those were huge yards for them in that first down. It won the game for them because otherwise you could potentially have to put the ball back into Tua and that offense's hands with a chance to drive down and counter with their own game-winning kick. So
we were clamoring for it. We were yelling, boot him out, let him run, and give him a throw-run option there, like in no reality. And I love James Conner. I do think that I don't love that 2-point conversion play. I'll be critical about that. I think Kyler Murray
almost had it.
Yeah,
I don't know where
it was blocked well. And I've seen the replay, and James just missed the hole. I'm sure he's going to own that. But when Kyler Murray's playing like that, you just can't take the ball out of his hands. You have to be in a position, especially on critical downs, in a 2-point conversion, 3rd and 4th down, to let him have the ability to throw it on the run or run the football. And if you watch that replay, and that just happens to be our Sanderson Ford drive of the game, capped off with that field goal. If you watch the replay, he makes the first man miss in the hole and then cuts it upfield. If he doesn't make that first man miss, he's tackled for a loss. So his elusiveness, his ability, those are the kind of runs where only he and two other quarterbacks, maybe he and Jaden Daniels and Lamar can make. And you absolutely use that to your advantage. I think the Miami Dolphins were very fortunate today in the first half that the Cardinals were, it looked like, still reluctant to open up their passing game. You hope that they've figured something out now where this is going to be a consistent theme for this team. I don't expect them to regress. I think to beat the Chicago Bears and the New York Jets, teams with stout fronts, you're going to need to duplicate this effort through the air today, and they've proven they can do that.
Kyler Murray in the second half, just taking a look at his stats. He was, 18 for 22, 228 through the air with the passing touchdown. That goes out to a passer rating of 125. And I'm with you. I mean, I think this was an even more impressive performance for Marv as well, too. Like where he had, larger receiving yards. He had 130 against the Rams.
Yep.
Kyler had the perfect passer rater against the Rams, and this was way more impressive to me.
Yeah.
Just because of all the clutch plays, throws, catches that they made in order to keep themselves alive and give them a chance in their defense to make a play and then have that final drive opportunity.
Yeah, to compare to the Rams game, it was just an utter beatdown from start to finish.
Yeah,
you didn't
smacking
feel like
McVay around.
you needed your big playmakers as much. In this game, they rose to the occasion when you needed them most. Yeah, that was the biggest difference for me in those two games.
Everybody should be sure to drop a like on this stream right now. Big thanks to everybody that came out. All of our diehards here in Miami. Got another night of fun here in Miami and taking a dub with us back to Arizona. We're going to hear from Budda Baker now as he met with the media shortly after this victory for the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, most definitely. Just very excited to play. Super blessed to just taking one play at a time. Tyreek, had Tua back. I know he was excited. So, I was just letting him know we're going to be here all day.
So that was Budda. I had asked him about the play that happened in the first half. Tyreek Hill, Budda had a big pass breakup against Tyreek, and you could see the two players jawing at each other, and it was just him letting know that they were going to be there in the entire game. And there was some tough plays, like they got Tyreek down, the sideline late in the first half, and the offense was able to kind of find it was tough getting them off the field, but the Arizona Cardinals were able to continue, like they kept that mentality and then just cower away and say, well, this is the mighty Dolphins offense and Tua's back and they've got the ball with a chance to put this thing away. It's like, no, they came up with a play when they needed to.
We were hoping for a little more from Budda. I know you were trying to draw it out of him.
Budda and Marv. And Marv, remember we had the clip that we tweeted out earlier this week. I'd asked him, like, how do you feel the first 7 games of your career is going? And he said, it's not what I envisioned. And I just asked him directly post-game. I said, is this what you envisioned? And he's like, definitely.
Yeah. Let's go to Marv here. Here was Marv right after the game.
It feels great. It does feel great, man. It's hard to get wins in this league. It's hard to be successful in this league, period. So, obviously, we got to keep going, keep building on this. Never get complacent, but it definitely feels great.
Feels great. Marvin Harrison Jr. Could have very easily been the player of the game. But
is that because you hate Marv? Does this go back to the draft, Damon?
No. I'm going to give it to the franchise quarterback today. Could be a 1B. Let's count some cards here on a PHNX Cardinals post-game show. Marvin Harrison Jr. leading the way for this wide receiving core with 111 yards on 6 catches, 7 targets. Again, I think his best game. Had a touchdown in the red zone when they needed it. Helped draw within just 2 points. And then you look at Trey McBride. I'm going to bounce around here, gentlemen. 123 receiving yards. I mean, I posed this to some folks off air on the drive back from the stadium. Like, is Trey McBride the best tight end in the NFL right now? Like, I with all due respect to David Njoku and Kittle, who's in and out of the lineup, who's 100 years old, and Travis Kelce, like, I'm going with number 85. Some of those catches today, toe tapping. I mean, he's not a big lumbering tight end. He literally hurdled a man to begin the second half. He is the best tight end the Cardinals have had in the modern Arizona football era.
Since Jackie?
Yeah, I mean, dating back to the time in St. Louis. He's the most Jackie Smith-esque, no doubt.
Yeah. From a receiving standpoint, I don't know how you'd you'd argue at this point.
I
what he's
don't
doing
think
out
there's
there.
anybody that's ascending as at a rate like Trey McBride has
Right.
since he took over. And when he was, it was insane that Zach Ertz was, standing in his way for 5 games last year.
Yeah.
But he goes 80 for 800 last year, and then his third 100-yard receiving game today.
Yeah.
And just the plays, how he was high pointing balls, how he was making different acrobatic catches, and then he also has the ability to toe tap, and then also he can play with a little physicality, a little violence. That's what you need from your tight end. Like he had all but one game. He has 5 or more catches this season. Like I know he missed one with a concussion.
Yeah.
But outside of that, just one game where he had 3 catches, he's been over 5 or more. Like he's been steady Eddie for this offense and more.
Yeah. Gila River presenting counting cards. We cap it off with James Conner, who again, not the biggest, robust James Conner game. I think that's what he can do for you. Like Monday night as a monster game.
Mm-hmm.
Today just does just enough with a touchdown, 53 yards on the ground, 16 through the air. I actually thought Trey Benson looks good.
Too.
Yeah.
He had a big block.
Yeah.
He helped Paris Johnson Jr. Slow down Calais Campbell on that Marvin Harrison Jr. first catch for 25 yards. He had to come chip him. And without that doesn't happen. Kyler does get sacked for the first time in 3 games. But James Conner was doing exactly what he's done all season long. He continues to be that Swiss Army knife and does whatever he's asked to do, including being a big force in what the run game or the passing game or in pass pro.
It was nice to get a Trey Benson sighting today, though. That was a big run.
Their leading rusher,
Yeah.
in the third quarter, it was like Trey
They
Benson
couldn't
had
move the ball
after
all
James
around.
Conner had that brutal minus 10-yard rush.
Yeah.
It was Trey Benson had 1 carry for 10 yards. And he was their leading rusher for the bulk of the game. Luckily, they changed that.
Yeah, it was nice to see him break a few tackles, too. Maybe he gets some more action in the coming weeks. We got more action right around the corner here on PHNX Cardinals, including your Super Chats. And is it time for Monti Ossenfort, days ahead of the trade deadline, to make a move for his soon-to-be first-place Cardinals? That's coming up on PHNX Cards. But first, we talked about him on Counting Cards. Let's talk about him some more. Our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, specifically our friends at Wild Horse Pass. The site, the location of our PHNX Cardinals watch party. PHNX Suns was just there on Friday night. I think they were celebrating the dub. They're winning a lot lately, as are the Arizona Cardinals. Gila Resorts, River Resorts and Casinos. No one does it better. They've got 4 locations, but of course, our fave, Wild Horse Pass, 4,500 slots, live table games, and more. The largest sportsbook casino in the great state of Arizona. And again, pool season may be ending, but how about rooftop season? How about fire pit season? How about Prime A-Shula Steakhouse? Again, unprecedented level of entertainment. Do a staycation with our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Again, we've got Suns watch parties coming up. Come check out our guy, Eric Ruby. We got Gerald. We got Lindsay. We've got Steven, new to the mix, Espo. And then, of course, we're going to be out there in the coming weeks. I think we've got one saddled up for later in November. Right now, you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Earn entries for the Ferrari Fortunes every Friday at 7 p.m. Winners are drawn for cash prizes and free bonus play. The grand finale will take place on November 1st, just around the corner at Wild Horse Pass, where you or one lucky winner will win that Ferrari 488 GTB.
Wow.
Visit playhila.com for more details, Bo.
A Ferrari would be nice, but I'd rather get myself a Ford.
No,
I'm a
that
Ford
sounds
guy.
like you. That sounds like you.
I'm a
Yeah,
truck guy.
for
So
sure.
I would like to celebrate this win with a victory Monday once we get back into the Valley by visiting our friends over at Sanderson Ford. They got the no hassle, no pressure, no nonsense sales approach. So if I want to go celebrate with a little test drive, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go check out one of their Ford F-150s. It's, of course, America's most awarded Ford dealership due to customer satisfaction. We love them. They give back to the community in several different ways. But head over to Sanderson Ford and check out the F-150 trucks. 3.9% financing for 60 months plus $4,000 cash back, and pick up a free pair of tickets to see Weezer and Sublime. That's right. Going back
Throwback.
to our youth. More November nights while they supply 100 tickets right now while they last. Check it out. No purchase or test drive required. You can just go hang out, say hi. Their great sales staff is going to, clue you in on their great inventory there, but they're not going to pressure you into a new vehicle. They're not going to do the song and dance. Like, I got to talk to my manager. What's going to take to get you in this car? It's like, here's your tickets to Weezer. Go see Sublime. Have a great time, and then come back and see if you need a vehicle. Offer for the 2024 F-150 STX OAC from Ford Credit. 1 pair of tickets per household and requires a valid driver's license.
Let's talk trade deadline, which is just a little over a week away now for this franchise. They're a Buffalo Bills capping off
Can we
a
talk
win.
about it? Can we go to the out-of-town
Yes.
scoreboard?
30 to what, 3?
31-10,
Okay.
Buffalo over Seattle midway through the fourth quarter. That one's done. And by the way, next week's opponent, you've been calling the Bears fraudulent for a while.
Yes, they are super frauds.
Can you read that passing line for me for Caleb Williams? Can you tell me what that says?
Caleb Williams, 3 for 12, 33 yards. So you mean to tell me the Chicago Bears
That game's in
can't?
the fourth?
That's late in the third
Oh,
quarter.
wait.
Caleb Williams has thrown for 33 yards.
I was under the impression the Bears played the Panthers and the Titans every week, but apparently they have to start playing real teams for Chicago. The Cardinals are going to be in first place after today.
They are
4-4. They're 2-0 in the division, most importantly, and the favorable part of their schedule is upcoming. I think at the very worst, this team should be sitting at the bye at 5-5. I do think they're going to be favored now in each of their next 2 games. Jets are big time frauds. They could be sellers. They're 2-5 or 2-6 maybe.
They'll never sell.
Well, yeah,
They never will.
That's fine.
Somebody needs to have an intervention with them and just tell them they're going nowhere. But yeah, they're just going to double, triple, quadruple down. They fire their coach, and then they make the trade for Adams, and then they somehow they get Hassan Reddick to come back. It's just not going to happen for them. So they're probably not going to sell, but we'll see. I mean, it's something that Monti Ossenfort, who is our friend Lena Washington at 12 News, put out a great tweet of Monti Ossenfort greeting and fired up to see his team coming back in the tunnel. It's like, okay, your team's done the work now, Monti. They have proven through in this gauntlet of an opening schedule that they're going to be in the mix regardless. Now go get them some help.
Yeah,
I'm not saying go get Myles Garrett.
No, he's not. Those kind of players aren't available. I don't think the Cardinals, that fits their timeline. Their timeline is to win the NFC West this year, and I'm going to be negative for just this small portion of the show. If the Cardinals had lost that game today, it would have been on their general manager. 11 for 15 was this third down defense, and again. Like, I almost want to say, like, through no fault of their own. Like, I get it. They were players. They're NFL players that are out there competing. I mean, Ben Stilley, Naquan Jones, Dante Stills, Zaven Collins, Victor Dumakaji off the practice squad, and inactives galore are thrust into this lineup. I think the Cards' back 7 is more than fine. I think Taylor Demerson looks like he deserves some time. We talked about the safeties played well, Buddha especially. I thought the corners played better as the game went on, and then certainly you've got 2 stud linebackers in Kazir White and Mack Wilson. Like, I think to put yourself in a position to compete for this division, not only now, but through the end of the year, because they've got a long way to go, you need 2 additions before the deadline. You're going to get Darius Robinson back next week. He was in street clothes today.
We'll see.
But, like, we hope. We're hopeful, right? He's back around the team now.
I think he'll be back on the practice field this week.
I was willing to give Monti a pass for the first half of the season. We've talked about this a lot. I know you don't like this opinion, but I like the idea of players proving that they deserve an addition to the roster. I really like that idea. Go out and show it to me.
Yeah.
Prove it to me. But now this team is 4-4. Like, this was pretty much the best case scenario we painted when we looked at the first half of the schedule.
100%.
We were saying 3-5, they're still in it, but 4-4, that really puts you in the mix. You've got a terrible Bears offense coming to town next week. You could be 5-4 right before the trade deadline. They've earned it. How can you not say that they've earned it when you look at all the losses this team has sustained via injury, and yet they're still at 500 with a chance to win this division? I agree with you now. Monty's got to go make moves.
Not only are they 4-4, they're 2-0 in the NFC West, which is fantastic because we know the Rams are getting better. You have a win over them. Who knows with San Francisco? Hopefully they take an L to the Cowboys tonight. But, like, those teams don't typically quit in the second half. Like, I assume Seattle's going to fall off. They were the biggest fraud in the NFL when they were, 3-0, 4-0. Like, everybody saw that coming. Similar like the Saints' fast start, maybe Chicago's. Like, this all ends up evening out. Whereas, like, not only reward your players, reward your head coach. Your head coach, who has gone through the gauntlet here, who has beaten Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay, and has put this defense in a position where they are believers. They're just very talentless, limited in talent, I should say, with all due respect. Like, these guys, I'm sure coming into this year did not expect to be starting right now. You need help. You need supplemental help. And it's not going to be guys that are going to break the bank in terms of draft capital. Like, you're going to go out, you're going to spend a late day 3 pick. And you should not, and we know this, we talk about this regularly, but like, you cannot take division titles for granted for this franchise. It means more for this team. It's not a Kansas City. It's not a Baltimore where you're just checking a box. Those things are assumed. If by hook or by crook they can compete and potentially win this division, it would do so much for the confidence beyond just, you're making the playoffs. The momentum for these young players to be able to experience that, right? Where you had no aspirations nationally. Nobody thought this team was going to contend. The postseason odds before this game for the Cardinals, I think, were plus 225. I would imagine now they're sub 200.
Yeah, you'd love to see it. It was like a 30% chance that they can make the postseason. That's going to creep up closer and closer to 500. And like the back end of this defense, I think is good enough.
Yes.
You have to do
It
some work
100%
on the defensive front seven. Buda Baker, 12 combined tackles. Jalen Thompson, 11 today. Melton was solid. I thought just their secondary gave you everything they had. You know, there were a couple quick passes that they were caught on third down on. But if you can find a way to create players or personnel that can create and be a little bit more disruptive up front, you just be doing them so much better going forward against, you know, the stretch run once you get out of the bye week. Like if you get Darius, if you get maybe, you know, two guys, whether it's interior or
do you
off
real
the
quick?
edge,
Do you think it would be Darius and then an edge? It's got to be probably an edge rusher.
I think you have to get an edge.
Yep.
I think you do. Get an outside linebacker, and we're seeing it's not costing you a lot of money. Like Monti Ossenfort doesn't have to like take all his picks and say, "Oh, you're not going to have any." It's not going to be a premium pick. Like you're going to still be able to focus on building for the future and being a draft and develop team. But like what we saw, DeAndre Hopkins at best is going to fetch a 4th round pick. That's a day 3 pick.
D-Hop.
There are impact makers that can be had for day 3 picks. For, you know, guys that we've seen in a John Gaines, guys that, you know, aren't making an impact on this roster.
GM's overvalued.
Yeah, don't
those picks all the
overvalue
time.
them.
Yes,
Don't
I
put
agree.
them on a pedestal. Go out there.
It is so clearly a need, folks. Like
Right.
they had 1 sack and it was off the fumble
And they
recovery.
reported today, like Zadarius Smith, if you can get Zadarius Smith for a 4th or a 5th round pick, I think that's easy. You pull the trigger on that deal.
Josh Uche was inactive for the New England Patriots. Now they won today. Healthy scratch. The production's not there, so you'd be probably hesitant to make that kind of deal. But I think anything, Craig, is better than nothing at this point.
As long as we've moved into this alternate reality that we're in right now.
No,
the
this is
Cardinals
real
are
life. We're
first
living in real life
place.
right now.
Is it? Are you sure?
Pinch me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Testing. Envision this. They got the Bears. They got the Jets. We think those are both winnable games, right?
Yes.
So you could be coming out of the bye week at 6-4, going to Seattle with a chance to like seize control of this division.
Yeah.
There's no way we were talking about this a few weeks ago, but that's the reality now. It's just amazing to me that we're in this position.
And we'll see what, happens
listen,
with San Francisco.
right.
The Rams, they were brought back to life this week. Like I know you buried them a long time ago.
That wasn't me. I didn't do that.
The receipts are not going to age well on that. But they got Puka back. They got Cooper back. Matthew Stafford looked great.
Let them go and beat all the teams the Cardinals need them to beat.
Sure.
Like let them go beat San Francisco.
But they're not going anywhere. They're
Let
Mike
them-
Myers. They're not coming. They're not going anywhere. You can't kill them until potentially week 17 when you face them.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals, they just need to take care of business against, like, there's no reason that they couldn't be a playoff team, and so could the Cardinals. Like, and we were sitting here, we're talking about the NFC West, and that should be the goal. But, like, there's a clear path now at 4-4 to 9 to 10 wins, which more often than not is going to get you into the postseason in the NFC with 3 wildcard spots. Like, all the teams that are tearing it up in the NFC North are going to eat each other. We've seen some of them are fraudulent. I think the same can be said for the NFC South now. Tampa Bay's losing a bunch of players. Of course, the Saints are terrible now. Like I think that there's a real possibility that 2 teams come out of the NFC West and 2 teams come out of the NFC North. I think that that's probably what ends up happening.
I think if you look at the preseason predictions, we saw a lot of these where people were saying the Cardinals are a 6-win team. Maybe they're a 7-win team. But if you looked at the analysis that went into that, it was so much of it was about this first half.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to survive this first half. I'd like to go back to all those people now and see what they think about this team's chances now that they're 4-4. And the back half of the schedule is much easier. We know that.
Yeah.
We've been saying it all season.
I mean, Patriots, Panthers, those should be wins. A win over the Seahawks, at least at home. That seems like, especially the way they're playing now. I mean, it's the ability to stack wins. This was kind of the gray area. Like once you got into this, where you were playing the Chargers on Monday night, going on the road facing Miami, who's perennial 9-8, 8-9 team. Like you're kind of fighting in your weight class.
Yeah.
And they snuck out 2 wins, fighting against teams kind of similar talent, and that's huge. That's huge. And if they can go, 3-1 during that stretch, or maybe even 4-0, that'd be incredible for this team.
I mean, we watch it every Sunday. How are these teams playing these bad of teams every Sunday? Like, who dishes out this schedule, and when does it come into effect for the Cardinals? And, I know Miami brought back Tua today, but that Miami team, that's not a great Miami team. Now, I think they're a great offensive team when Tua and his weaponry are clicking on all cylinders, but the Cardinals were the better team coming into this game. Vegas didn't give them that credit, and I thought they outplayed them, especially in the second half. They certainly had the better quarterback, and the numbers support that. Speaking of the numbers, let's check out the numbers. Buy the numbers with our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union. Love our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union. Total yardage, the Arizona Cardinals have the slight edge at 389 versus 377, but most importantly, chopped it up over 300 yards passing. Tua, again, I'm going to use that word, I thought very fraudulent passing, 227. I thought Tua's best two throws of the day. He had a long pass to Tyreek Hill before the end of the half, and then he did convert what ended up being a meaningless 3rd and 12 that took forever. They were trying to milk the clock. They challenged the play. Outside of that, and I tweeted this out, a lot of smoke and mirrors for Tua. A lot of horizontal screen passes. And give him credit. Like your playmakers go make plays for you. And I thought Mike McDaniel called a really good game.
That's their offense, right? Yeah, they get their guys in space. That's what they do, yeah.
But there's a distinct difference between who plays quarterback, the caliber of player and athlete for the Cardinals and the Miami Dolphins. And I think Tua very much has a ceiling. And again, like they were watchable today, even in the loss. They're not watchable without Tua. So that's why he earns his deal. And then you look at the rushing yards, 82 to 150. It goes back to that original point. Cardinals 3.2 yards per clip, but they won, and they had their best offensive day in more than a month. And I just think you want to run the football. I get that, Drew Petzing. You should be running the football to set up the pass. You shouldn't run the football just for more running. And I thought Monday night against that shell zone that the Chargers ran, there were opportunities to hit big plays downfield, and whether it was Kyler or Drew or Marvin or whomever, it just didn't look like this. I think this has got to be the recipe moving forward.
Yeah, you get that feeling. And Kyler said that much. It's like, they're not going to get complacent. They're not going to, start to read their press clippings after today's win. Like he's as he said, he started 7-0 before, and that ended horrible.
Yeah.
To be 4-4, but to feel how they got to feel offensively today, that's something you can build off of. And that's so important, like that you got your number one asset that you acquired this offseason. And Marvin Harrison Jr. on a roll, and you got him in a good spot and in rhythm in the passing game. That was so important. Like that's the biggest key for me. I mean, you look by the numbers and you see the stats there and no turnovers. That's great. You win the turnover battle pretty much. Like I know it's not going to show up as a turnover in the stat column, but like Tua turned the ball over on that safety. You get the ball offensively off of that, and you were able to score. And then you also saw a pretty disappointing game, only 4 penalties from this team. So like we said going into this, like if you play mistake-free and you play a disciplined game, you're going to be in there at the end. And then they were able to take the ball and they bet on themselves and got it done in the offense's hand at the end of the game.
Speaking of hand, how about Kyler Murray having the ball knocked out of his hand, had the wherewithal to pick it up and throw it away? It was an unbelievable play. Did they end up scoring that drive too? I think they got points on that drive. Damon, Dawg. If I remember, it might even been a touchdown drive. So ended up going from potential disaster to pay dirt. We got your super chats right around the corner. Drop a like on this video. But first, a word from our sponsors. We just talked about them via Buy the Numbers. How about they help you with your numbers, your financial numbers? That is Desert Financial Credit Union, the official credit union of the Arizona Cardinals, PHNX Sports, and even the Venerable household. That's because for more than 84 years, Desert Financials has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union, dedicating to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and providing financial solutions that make lives better. And again, they've got a team of financial experts tailored to helping real-life people like me and you achieve your financial goals and dreams. This is not just a cut and dry transaction, folks. I love their ATMs. They're all over the valley, but they do so much more than that. They've got checking, savings accounts, mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and more. Plus, if you're an Arizona sports fan, rep the Red Sea with the Arizona Cardinal Visa debit card. Now, shameless plug. We were out last night. We went out the last couple of nights. I've been throwing around my Arizona Cardinal Visa debit card via our friends at Desert Financial. I appreciate that. Everybody's like, oh, that's a fancy card. It's with my friends at Desert Financial Credit Union. Go to desertfinancial.com/Cardinals to get started. It takes a matter of minutes to open up that checking account. Debit cards in the mail. a couple days after the fact. DesertFinancialCreditUnion.com/Cardinals. Upgrade your financial acumen today, Bo.
The excitement level was through the roof today, right? And first, let me just say this: like, if you got kids in the room, get them out of the room. Like, we're talking about Blue Chew,
Oh,
right?
goodness.
Like, we're going
Are
to take
we
the
really?
lights down. We're going to talk about lasting impressions. And today was an unbelievable impression that you might even need to consult a doctor about.
Sure.
Because 4 hours, isn't that the rule? If it's going for 4 hours or longer, you got to go
Maybe
check
give
in
somebody a call
with an MD. Yeah, that might be the case today, but let's check in with our friends at Blue Chew if you're not going to get a Cardinals win like this each and every day. Like, Blue Chew is the online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but at a fraction of the cost in a chewable form, easy to get your hands on because the process is simple. You sign up, BlueChew.com, you consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive that prescription within days. And then once you get that, then it's on. Then your partner, you guys are having a blast, and things have never been better. It's almost as exciting as being 4-4 after 2 walk-off wins.
Sure.
I don't know. We'll see. But you can take them anytime, day or night, and you can even plan ahead. You be ready whenever the opportunity arises. Check them out right now and tell them that we sent you. Go to BlueChew.com. Try for free. We use the promo code ALLCITY, our parent company, ALLCITY, at checkout, and just pay $5 in shipping. You try them for free, and if you don't like them, then look, don't even move forward with it. But visit BlueChew.com for more details, important safety information, and we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring PHNX Cardinals.
You're a true pro for that read. And
bring the kids back.
That's right. Speaking of pros, this is the time of the show typically when Craig is on the road, where we welcome Craig Morgan on the road trip presented by our guy, Coach Starks. But this is way better. Not only are we all on the road with Craig, but Coach Starks is in attendance now as the presenting sponsor. Are you in market for a home? I'm not, because he hooked me up. He can hook you up too. Get a hold of Coach Starks today. He'll help you out. Get in touch with him, 623-695-3929. Go to CoachStarkHomes.com. Follow him at Coach Stark Homes on all social platforms. He was sitting right next to me when the Cardinals kicked the game winner. I think that's good mojo for somebody in the market for a home right now. He's a big winner. He can help you win on the home of your dreams as we continue the conversation here on a PHNX Cardinals post-game show. And I think I'm ready, Damon, Dawg. Let's open the floodgates. Let's talk Super Chats here with the almost 1,000 watching at home in attendance.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll start off with Ryan Carley, $2. Were Miami fans upset with the Red Sea section?
It was pretty loud at the end. We mentioned that Miami didn't sell out this game by any stretch. There was a good amount of Cardinal red. It was loud in the first half. The two loudest points of the day was when Tua ran out and Tua had that first down.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I mean, Cardinal fan, it got real quiet in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm. It was an interesting vibe for a stadium. Like, they've got the old school Miami Dolphins song that they sing.
Yeah.
It doesn't, like, the atmosphere it was fine.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, obviously, because what I was witnessing. But,
yeah,
I mean, the NFL, it doesn't scream like NFL atmosphere.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird-looking stadium, I got to admit. I have to know, though, were there any altercations with Johnny?
No.
Okay.
Did he behave himself?
Just
I was
checking.
It was
protected.
close at
Few
the
witnesses
end.
in the audience.
Yeah,
that can tell.
Johnny's definitely like a make sure I'm behind everybody in
Oh,
the section
I was
type
well
of guy and
protected.
in talk.
I was rolling pretty deep with our squad. I wasn't like verbally abusive to people, but I was not going to make it comfortable for at the end. Like,
Do you have bad thoughts about them?
No, I just was making it clear like they were going to lose that game. They were going to hear from me.
Yeah.
We can't rep a number 18 jersey, but you can rep the number 18 collection, and we repped it with pride today in attendance. You were dishing out some gear before the game at GoPHNX.com. Become a diehard right now. This is the proudest I've ever been wearing this shirt in front of a capacity crowd at Hard Rock, and all the losers that had to see this wearing their Tua jerseys. And I just rep the only piece of number 18 collection you can get right now. Become a diehard. GoPHNX.com. $4 for the year, or $48 right now. We're slashing prices left and right. Deals on deals is going to get you a free T-shirt, access to the member Discord, percentage off. I believe it's 20 on all future purchases via AllCity. And then on top of that, you get a sweet diehard card that comes in the mail. Big thank you to all of our new diehards that we welcomed over the matter of the last week or so. A special thank you to all of our diehards here in attendance at the Marriott. We had a banner time. Big thanks with our friends at True Fan Travel. beautiful partnership between PHNX Sports and True Fan, and we hope to be able to do more things like this.
Did we convert James? Is James a Cardinals fan now?
I think so.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Like
good.
a soft, casual Cardinal fan.
I mean, he needs to abandon ship on his Eagles. And
Okay.
come to this Bird gang.
He was fired up today.
He should be.
Yeah.
He should be.
He was fired up.
We do need to do this again, though. I think. I think
Yeah.
you guys. I hope you agree.
Yeah.
I hope you guys. Yeah.
Awesome.
Especially when they win, right? It makes it a lot easier, right? Yeah.
Awesome. Damon, Dawg, let's keep those super chats going if we could.
Yeah, we got Michael, $5, says, with the Jags loss, do you think they could be sellers of Josh Allen Hines? We need a really good pass rush or create the Ojulari brothers.
I think that you, if you're Monti Ossenfort, you're looking for maybe a Montez Sweat kind of deal where you get a young player who's under contract, younger, or maybe in the peak of his career, that you can welcome to your team now and be a part of your team in 2025 and beyond. I think that would be the perfect scenario. I don't know if that scenario exists necessarily to his liking. We've seen he's very hard to please in the trade market, the acquisition market, but like you have nothing at the position respectfully moving forward that's proven. Zaven Collins, I think we've seen. He is a rotational complementary piece. He cannot rush the passer. They don't have anybody on the roster that can do that. B.J. Ojulari's coming off an ACL. He's a roll of the dice at this point. He's a lottery ticket. They need multiple edge rushers. So, yeah, go get a guy right now that can be on your team in 2025.
I mean, Uche just seems so easy. So does Darius Smith based on his age. It just you can get him for, I'm sure, a day 3 pick.
Yeah.
And that would be perfect. I know the market is materializing, and you see tomorrow, like, root against the Giants because that would only benefit, like, the Giants, Ojulari.
Yeah.
He's a free agent at the end of the year.
Yeah.
They've already got 2 more established pass rushers. If they lose to Pittsburgh, that would probably officially they won't get any kind of, unrealistic thoughts like that they could be in this thing for the rest of the season. So you hope that the Giants suffer an L and become sellers before the deadline a week from Tuesday.
Damon, let's keep it going, my guy.
We got Eric Lambert, $2. Monty needs to give Connor a 2-year extension.
I think you're, at the very least, you hit him with the franchise tag. I don't know, that's not the perfect situation, but I mean, you just can't let him leave at this point.
Yeah, he's got value. We talked about this on the last show. He doesn't have the same mileage as a guy his age because he had some years where he just wasn't carrying the load as much, and he's proven that he's productive still. He's incredibly productive at this age.
Yep.
So I think a short-term deal like that makes sense, or like you said, the franchise tag. But I'd like to keep him around. I mean, I don't see Budda Baker being back, but I do think James Conner belongs here.
I think a deal that would be just a little bit over what the total number is for the franchise tag, but on a 2-year deal would be perfect.
Yeah.
Milwaukee Braves, 1999. Huge win. That's what I call a culture win. Kept fighting and good things happen. Drew, good things happen when you get Marv the ball. I did a live bet at my casino. Got in on Cards money line at plus 255. Safe travels back home to y'all.
Elite.
Appreciate that.
Culture gets thrown around a lot, right? But I feel like he's right on target with this one. And they were saying it in the room afterward. Kelvin Beachum talking about they put back-to-back wins together for the first time in 3 seasons. So that's kind of a big deal. And what he said eventually was, that's progress. You can sell progress now because we're finding ways to win these games, and we actually stacked wins together finally.
Yeah, they keep saying that, stacking wins.
Yeah, I'm not sure 2's a stack, but
yeah, this is a small
we'll
stack.
run with it for now.
It's like me at the blackjack table. It's a very small stack, and then you can stack. I mean, they have an opportunity to stack a few more here before the bye. Damon, let's keep it going.
AZ Moses, 89, $4.99. Any reports if Monty is going to use his New England connections to try to trade for Josh Uche? Great win today, LFG.
It's almost like with Gannon's comments, Bo, about like, see you guys on Wednesday because we need to add to this pass rush in the next 3 days. Like, check back Wednesday. Hopefully there'll be some new players on the practice field. I know that that's not what he meant, but like tongue in cheek, like they need to spend these next 3 days. Like I don't think you can wait until right before the deadline to make a deal. I think we've seen other teams have been willing to deal. There are teams that are going to basically tap out after today. We know who they are. We're going to break it all down this week on PHNX Cardinals, but there's no reason why those conversations shouldn't happen like tonight.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, see you Wednesday. Hopefully that's so Gannon can just bother Monty for the next 2 straight days.
Yeah.
Like, hey, who you calling?
Sitting
What are you
next to
talking
him on
about?
the flight right now.
Yeah, make a deal. Let's make a deal. Let's keep it going.
Next super chat comes from PR Mac, $5. Starting to be reminiscent of the 1975 Cadillac Cardiac Cardinals 2.0 version. Is that Jim back and kicking? Great win.
Wow, that's a throwback that I'm sure my dad would know, but I'm not. I'm going to take your word for that, my guy. But there were the cardiac Cardinals, very famous in their days in St. Louis. I'll take it. Cardinals, historically, there was a saying, you know this, Craig, same old Cardinals. That's not the case right now. And, man, I just – Jonathan Gannon breeding confidence on somebody like Chad Ryland is a phenomenal coaching job. Like the fact that, like, we're like, I can't believe you're picking up Chad Ryland.
Yeah.
And now he's like the best.
Yeah,
kicker.
Bill Belichick's cast off.
Yeah.
Billy Barton, 499. Finally seeing connection between Kyler and Marv was such a relief for the Bird Gang.
It was. They needed it. Like air.
It was a relief for the media as well. I'll just put that out there.
Yes.
I think it was a relief for the two of them. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. he was breathing a sigh of relief today.
Johnny can finally get a good night's sleep.
Yep.
Yeah,
Real quick,
going down the
if
list.
you're watching with our friends at Samsung, go over to gophnx.com. The party continues here. But yeah, if you're watching on Samsung, pop over gophnx.com.
Next super chat, Aspen Hall, 499. I am sad I didn't start Marvin and Devontae Smith, and they went off this week. But do you blame me?
There's time. There's time now. I think that
Thank you for your service.
Yes.
Really. I think you sitting him was probably the reason he went off, and we appreciate that.
people are already
Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Sacrifice.
his route trees have already been posted, and like those need to be the new route trees going forward. Like none of this stuff from the first 7 weeks. Let's keep it going. I think it's tweeted this out. Only progress here on out for Marv. Like you can't regress with the coaching staff.
David Shepard, 499. I was with JV this entire time about putting most of the blame on Petsing. Boy, am I glad he proved us wrong. What a game. Go Droopy.
Yeah. We talked about it before the game today, and we talked about it on our pregame show. Drew Petzing, the avenue is there for not only obviously keep his job, but like to quiet the critics. That's how you do it. Yeah. You perform. Like Monday through Saturday, that means nothing. The talk, everything else, like you either put up points or you don't. And this team was overachieving defensively to the point where like it was clearly on the offense.
Yeah.
And you have a $50 million quarterback and the best player we think in the draft. Something wasn't adding up.
We did the blame game earlier this week, and you put 60% of the blame on Drew Petzing. How much credit do you give Drew Petzing today?
I would give him
5%.
No, I would give him. There's a lot of credit to go around. I'd probably give him like 30%. Kyler probably 50, 40%. Marv, Trey are in there. Yeah, but being a coach, you have to be selfless, right? But like clearly, when we watched this team in weeks prior, like the play calls were not good, and when Marvin was completely defeated, it looked like it was just lingering. It was anchoring this whole team in a negative vibe. You saw, I mean, he's so damn wholesome in the post-game show, in that press conference, smiling, because it's like, hey, guys, I can do this every week. Yeah. I'm glad we figured this out finally.
You guys like that nickname for Drew Petzing? Droopy?
Sure.
Not sure he'd like it.
It's better than putzing.
Yeah,
I mean,
that one's rough. There's some rough ones out there.
There was some bad ones that came out this week.
I think our guy came up with that, David Shepard, but I don't know. Maybe,
Droopy?
yeah, maybe someone else did. Sly, $2. Officially the Arizona Marvinals.
Okay.
Sure.
I can get behind that.
I waited for that for a long time.
Trey McBride's pretty good, too.
Yeah. McBridesmaids.
Yes, we are.
Wolf Langus, 199. How about those MHJ diving catches?
Unreal. Unbelievable, especially that one on third down that continued that drive. You got to have a play there, and he lays out full extension and makes that catch. I mean, the touchdown is a beautiful
pretty
thing.
gorgeous.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
But for him to go and lay out and extend that drive, it would have put pressure on them in a big fourth and convert situation.
Damon's pretty adamant. I'd love to get everybody's opinion. Is Trey the best player on the Cardinals? Like the best?
Wow.
The best overall player?
I don't think it's close.
Debate. I'm glad. I think it's nice to have a debate that it could be Kyler, it could be Trey, it could be Marv with
Paris, maybe.
Paris, it could be James Conner. Like it's all on the offense that's underperformed, but like with the ability to go up.
I'm gonna go with Kyler.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, especially watching him
He's
play
got a
today.
touchdown in each and all 8 games passing. He had another it's his second multi-touchdown passing performance of the season.
It's really hard to play quarterback. That
Yes,
said,
it is.
I don't remember Trey's last bad game.
Yeah.
Like when Trey's fed the ball, he doesn't drop passes. He's always open. He breaks tackles. Like, he's the best at his position in the NFL, but Kyler is more valuable because he's the quarterback.
Yeah,
I think that's
there's
fair.
There's like 12 guys in the world that can play that position at a high level. It's just it's insane.
I think that's completely fair.
I think it's the toughest position in professional sports.
My thought process is more that Trey is just, I think he's the best player at his position in the whole league.
It's pretty wild.
So then I think that he's the best player on the team because of that.
The Cardinals went like 30 years without having a tight end. Now they have the best one in the NFL.
Next super chat, a very specific 295 from our friend Aaron Van Buren, and he says, "Loved Murray scramble on third. How should it be?"
Yeah,
How it should be.
Oh, how it should be.
It was the exact right call. They needed to boot him out, give him the opportunity. It was a designed run because they had a lot of motion behind the line of scrimmage, but in no situation should Kyler Murray not have the ball in his hands and key points like that in the game.
We got Daniel Marmol for Euros and says, "Hi from Spain, guys. Our OC much better today now."
Yes. Much better. Keep it going. Build off of this.
Doc XD, wonder how Damon feels. LOL. Also big W.
Damon had a great time, and we
Take that, Damon.
I put in the chat earlier, I got to see my sweet, sweet Prince baby, Marvin Harrison Jr., have a generational performance in front of my eyes. It's hard to be mad at that,
I love that in a weird way, like you holding the line and being leading the charges that movement, because that's absolutely what it was, led to the own demise of your favorite football team.
I just would also like to throw
Poetic.
out there, we were talking about like this had to happen for, you had to be there for that to happen. Like I think I willed the Cardinals to this victory personally. And I think I want to take a lot of credit for that. So you're
Let's
welcome.
Give Damon a round of applause.
Yes.
You're welcome, Cardinals fans.
You did it again. You did it again. There's that smile. He was such a sad boy after the game.
Trevor Begay 199 needed K1 Russian to hit to win $178. I'll take the W.
We took the L2. It was our super boost for Bet 365. Was it the Cards win and then 50 yards rushing?
Or was James Conner anytime touchdown?
Yeah.
Yes, and Kyler 50 yards rushing. He got 19.
But you know what? I'm almost glad that it didn't hit, because I don't want this team to be run dominant. I don't want this. I want Kyler Murray. No, I'm being serious. I want Kyler Murray to be able to throw from the pocket for 300 yards in a game. I don't want to subject Kyler.
I forgot what that looked like.
Yeah. It was crazy.
October 30th, 2022 was his last 300-yard performance, and then it really wasn't even close before that. It was like a couple 260-yard games. Like his highest in this offense was 266.
He was on pace for like 3,100 yards passing. Yeah. Like that's not Kyler Murray. Watch Kyler Murray at Oklahoma. He threw for like 5,000 yards.
Bees wants to laugh at the C frauds for a second.
We laugh at them.
Official?
It is
officially
the Cardinals are in first place.
First place Cardinals. Yep. Unbelievable. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Talk about a successful trip, huh?
Yeah. I mean, did we know that we were going to walk out of here first place?
We show up in third, we walk out in first. That's how it works. PHNX.
Might just need to punt on our families and just become road dogs, like indefinite road dogs. What do you think about that? Just never go back.
DK, they didn't have DK today, but it looks like Geno Smith just had a fine game. Threw a pick. They lost. They got dominated.
Nice. Love that.
Steve Keimschool, 199. How about a trade? How about we trade a first for a wash D tackle or D lineman?
That's what Johnny wants to do.
I wouldn't trade a first-round pick, but I mean, Washington preseason, that made more sense. Washington's in buy mode. They're not going to be selling. But, like, there are teams the Cardinals have done deals with historically that are sellers. New England, Cleveland are the two main ones. Tennessee comes to mind as well. If I'm picking my preference, I would call the Tennessee Titans about Harold Landry. The Titans got absolutely steamrolled by the Detroit Lions today. They basically quit on their GM and their head coach. They are looking at blowing it up. So Harold Landry, outside of the year he tore his ACL, very consistently, just methodically getting double-digit sack seasons. Ossenfort knows him very well. I would try to get Harold Landry.
Remember this podcast championed the Titans being terrible, and nobody believed us?
We're not right all the time, but when we are right, we're unfathomably right. Correct. That was very easy to point out too. By the way, it was not a hard
52. That's what the Lions put up on.
Yeah, they put up 52.
Did Landry have a good game?
I don't know.
We're holding the line for Harry.
No, diving into
cares
Lions
about
stats
that.
here. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant somebody else. Okay, sorry.
Harold Landry.
I'm guessing he didn't have a big day when the Lions had 52 points. All right, Damon, let's keep it going.
Jinsol Murray 499. My first time seeing Cardinals fans take over an opposing team stadium.
It was great. Let's keep it going. Don't sell your tickets. We'll see you at State Farm Stadium next weekend. Chicago. Do not allow the Chicago Bear fandom to take over State Farm Stadium.
I think it's already established. Unfortunately, going to be 70-30 Bears fans.
Yeah, it probably will.
It's unfortunate, but
big gross.
I think now this is a win that's going to get people to buy tickets to future games the rest of the season.
And it should. Brian L, $10. I'm feeling good. Bears next, then Jets, Seahawks, Vikings, Seahawks tried to get me, Patriots, Panthers, possible 9-game winning streak, or at least a possible huge run of wins. Bird Gang.
Listen, I'm all for that. Let's go. Win 9 in a row.
Big Red 6 changed his profile picture to Chad Ryland celebrating coming off the field
I
that
saw
we use
big
on our
Chad
thumbnail.
energy in the chat. I like that.
Yeah, lots
too.
of. They were calling him Chad the Chad Ryland. I thought that was pretty good. But Big Red 6, $5. Bills 31, Rain City, bitch pigeons 10. That's a word I can say.
Yikes.
LFG #1 in the West.
Nice. Let's keep it going.
It's a family program.
It is.
Josh Espada 02, $1.99. My sweetie pie sugar plum prince MHJ is so for real.
It was just like
Poetic.
watching, like poetry in motion, just him snatching the ball. It was great too when that catch was reversed. It was you just felt like the wave of momentum, like the Dolphins, they knew they were in trouble.
What a play, too, to keep his hand underneath that football.
Yeah.
Keep it secure as he's sliding out of bounds. That was an unreal play by MHJ.
David Shepard is back, $4.99. Says, Damon, I did come up with that nickname for Drew. Thanks for noticing.
All right.
Thanks for noticing.
Droopy. It has some legs to it, I think. Chris Carrasco, $5. After today's win, if we want to make a playoff run, we need to trade for some pass rushing talent. It has to be done. Defense wins championships.
Okay, put a percentage on it. What percentage do you both think it's going to happen? Bo is very cynical, and he does not like nice things. But, Craig, I'll start with you.
It's not that I don't want it.
That's a lie.
How do you not at this point? How do you not at this point?
I'm going 100%.
100%
right now.
Here's what I'll say, Johnny. I would like to be able to put a percentage on it,
Yeah.
but that would involve actually talking to Monti. So I
Oh,
don't really
man.
know what he's thinking.
Shots fired.
Shots fired, but you have to do it at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put it over 50%. I'll say 60% chance
Okay.
it's going to happen
Very
at this
good.
point because they have to.
But
They
what
have to
what
now.
type of deal are you envisioning here?
That doesn't it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Just any kind of deal for a pass rusher.
Yeah, get
What
some
do you
help.
put
Get
it
some help
put it
with
I'm putting you on the spot. Do they do one or not?
This is such a wet blanket. 30%.
You're a wet blanket who hates fun.
We
Stop
haven't
wanting
seen
them to
this. We haven't
lose.
seen by Monty. We just
Okay.
haven't.
Sorry, it doesn't fit your rebuild timeline. Bo says 0%. Let's continue.
I didn't say.
Maybe we can get another Julian Aquara.
Please,
Johnny?
please stop. Please stop.
Steve Kimeschool, $1.99. How many steaks has Johnny finished?
0. He left a lot of meat on his plate
I
today.
knew you were going to say that.
Oh,
That's
did.
not true.
Twice,
That
two
was
plates.
bone and tendon on my plate, and I finished
First
all
off,
the meat. I cleaned it.
The catering service did not give you piece of crap meat like that.
No, it
with a bunch
wasn't a piece
tendon
of
in it.
crap meat. You're basically comparing
was-
like
It was delicious brisket.
just envision like you had bones off of like a chicken wing, but that's what I had on my plate. You want me to eat the bones? I'm sorry. That's what you're
There was
implying.
more than that. I have photographic evidence.
You're the worst. I'm trying to like get into the zone with the fine people here.
No, you were
when true fans
isolated.
travel,
You were barely
and
talking
I'm
to
sit-
us.
And I'm sitting there and I'm eating my food, and he comes over with his phone. He's like, and like trying to take a picture of me, and it's just like,
It
can I?
caught my eye. It was such a mound of meat.
You know what?
That I just did. I was like, is he really done eating?
No, I'm
that
here-
can't be.
Stop. I'm here to do a job.
Touch me.
And I was trying to eat. It's the only thing I've eaten today, and the food was fantastic. It was first class,
was.
and
It was good.
I did eat all my meat. Continue on.
Hold on. I'm a reporter.
No,
so I
no.
need to tell the
Thank
truth
you.
here. I
Thank
need to
you.
No, see, because this is not going to paint you in a good light, Bo.
What?
That was Johnny's second plate.
Thank you.
He did have 2
I
plates.
did
of
have
meat
2
today,
plates.
So
They can attest to it.
Got to tell the truth here.
Good hell.
Though
Just-
you did talk a lot about tendons on your plate. and that
There
was
was,
Yeah.
there was, you know, I picked some irregular pieces, but you know,
Okay. It was
fine.
good food. It was
Yeah.
great food.
It was Johnny's second
I
plate.
stand
I
by
can
it.
confirm.
God,
I know he had 2 plates, but he left both plates full of meat.
you're
I think the
worst.
first one was mostly rib
I-
caps.
Thank you.
Like
That's
the-
exactly what it was. See, rib caps. Yeah, rib caps. That's what it
That's a
was.
good term. I've never heard that term before.
Diego Perez, $5. Johnny, you can't celebrate Marv's big day. Hashtag hold the line. We didn't forget. You guys chose the Finns to win.
Block him. Continue on. Block him. Get him out.
Thank you for your super
Thank
chat.
you for your money.
That's what we got.
That's all we got.
The
We're
chat was
fired
on
up.
fire today.
They were. Everybody be sure to like this video. Subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. It's been a banner weekend with our friends from True Fan Travel, with the diehards in attendance. Big thanks to everybody. Damon, Dawg, we got one more.
We had someone with a blank underline name toss in a 199. C Colks are frauds. Don't
Yeah.
know what that means, but we'll ride with it.
A lot of frauds on display, not in this room right here, not with the Arizona Cardinals, who moved to 4-4. Final thoughts here. Everybody be sure to drop a like. Arizona Cardinals host the Chicago Bears, who are in a little bit of a barn burner right now, attempting to rally against the Washington Commanders, although Washington has the ball with just under 7 minutes left. Craig, I'll start with you. Is this a win that can project the Arizona Cardinals now at 4-4, first place in the NFC West, to the postseason?
Yes, I'm going to say yes, because I really thought that if they could get to the midpoint at 4-4, they would be in great position. Now, I know they've sustained some injuries, but they're also going to have some guys coming back. Darius is going to be back. Jonah Williams may be back.
Yeah.
Jonathan Gannon hinted that there's a really good chance he'll be back. So with where they are right now and looking at this division, yes, this is a team that can get into the postseason now.
I agree, and I think it's also in part because this team has established its identity of finding a way to win. They've done that now in back-to-back weeks where it wasn't pretty the entire 60, but the team stayed in the fight. And now with that, they've been able to kind of unlock this offense that can give them the opportunity to potentially find some easier wins.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, if they need to scratch and claw their way to a dub, they're capable of doing that. They're learning to win those types of games because it's so important down the stretch. Even if you don't have your best stuff that day, that you're able to find a way, get off the football field with a certain enough time for your offense to go down and win it, and then have the people when you need to clutch up in the passing attack, and then also when it comes to putting points on the board in the form of a guy like Chad Ryland filling in for Matt Prater, and you don't have to think twice about it. It's so important, and Jonathan Gannon has instilled that. His coaching staff has done a good job in really kind of establishing that culture.
You know, we talked a lot this week about rebuilding Marvin Harrison Jr.'s confidence. I think this coaching staff should get a round of applause for rebuilding what was Kyler Murray's confidence. Kyler Murray was always a winner at the high school level, at the collegiate level, and was asked to carry this franchise at a very young age with, let's just call a spade, with people that were not equipped to support him. And then Kyler Murray had to grow up himself in some aspects, both on and off the field. And now you get him post-ACL. He's fully healthy. He's well on his way statistically, knock on wood, his most, I would say, efficient season. And then you think about the projection of this team, where it's going. You mentioned it earlier in the show, being 7-0 once upon a time, crashing and burning and living through that, having those experiences. Now this team starts 2-4, but they keep together, they stay together, they beat two good teams back-to-back weeks now, and you're in a position, if you're the Arizona Cardinals, to really benefit from Kyler Murray's growth and learning experience as quarterback in the NFL.
Trending, ascending, getting better instead of starting hot and then falling off a cliff, for lack of a better term. Like, I think that this team is getting better and better. Like, they struggled early on, and through that struggle, I think that they're coming out on the other side a better product, right? And it's not like, hey, the league found this out about us. They're playing that game of chess, and they adjusted back. And you've seen that from, I think, Drew Petzing, Kyler Murray at the quarterback position, and Marvin Harrison Jr., who's learning on the fly as a rookie. It's great to see, instead of just tapering off and then kind of going out with a whimper. They're playing their best ball, and it's showing up with the opportunity for their schedule to thin out and play some beatable opponents instead of struggling against some really good teams and them getting the best of them.
It's the opposite of the Kingsbury years, right?
Yeah.
Where they beat up on bad teams normally in the first half with older players, and then they fell apart November, December, January. Maybe this is finally the time where you withstand the good teams early, as you mentioned. You get through that, and now you watch the grow and the maturation process of guys like Trey McBride and Marvin and Kyler Murray and Paris. Maybe make an addition. Garrett Williams defensively was fantastic today. The best football should be in front of this team, unequivocally. Like, not only this year, but beyond 2024. And that's a good feeling. If you're an Arizona Cardinal fan that has watched them, they matched their win total just 8 weeks into the season for each of the last 2 years, 4-4 and now 4-4 here in 2024. We're fired up here.
Me off guard.
PHNX Cardinals. I know it's a lot to take in. We waited a long time for the fourth dub last year and the season before. Be sure to like this video. We got a couple more super chats coming in, Damon, Dawg.
Yeah, we got 2 more coming in last minute.
Real quick, I want to sneak this in because it's such a great giveaway. We're friends over at Pit Boss.
Yes.
Damon.
100%.
We are still doing the Pit Boss grill giveaways. Unbelievable opportunity for you right now to bolster your backyard with maybe a smokeless, fire pit. And also you got the Pit Boss grills, several different sizes. You get in right now, you follow the link, and you sign up, and you very well could walk away with an unbelievable product from our friends over at Pit Boss Grill.
really enjoying the Chicago Bears fumbling at the goal line on 4th and 1 to potentially lose the game to Washington. Fired up about that. Let's get some more super chats.
Yeah, that Pit Boss link is in the chat. It is free to sign up, and you just get a shot at winning a free Pit Boss grill. There's really no downside to it. So click that link and just give yourself a shot. Next super chat comes from Brian L. $5. He's back. He says, any news on Darius Robinson? Will he play this season?
I mean, we saw him with our own eyes. We haven't seen Darius
here
in the flesh for a little bit. His coach commented earlier this week that he was going to ramp him up, and then, there was reports, was it Darren Urban, Craig, that had said that the services for his mother was Wednesday, and he hasn't practiced since he was designated to return. 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
I think the window closes on the 30th, which is
does.
Wednesday. So I'm guessing we will see that MF on 30.
He's gonna be. I think they'll activate him, and then they'll actually ramp him up this time.
Yeah, they are gonna ramp him up this time. Yeah.
And it would be a great addition. Hopefully, they can get him in there before the bye week, and then after that, just get more and more acclimated to this defense.
Jeremy Bailey, $2. LFG guys, 2 in a row. MHJ Mojo and Kyler Ballin.
Absolutely. Great way to cap off this show and our coverage this weekend from Miami. We got one more?
We do have one more from Z Warlock 505, $5. He says, hashtag beat the Bears.
That's right.
It's going to happen.
Get it going.
Absolutely. Be sure to like this video. Drop a comment. Which pass rusher should the Arizona Cardinals target? Subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. We're going to do a show tomorrow. We don't know what time. We don't know where it will be, whether it's here or back home in Phoenix, but we're en route back to the desert. We got our friends from CHGO coming into town, ready to preview Cards, hosting the Bears, and then, of course, the Jets before the bye week.
They're riding in because of our friends over at True Fan
That's
Travel.
absolutely right.
Big thank you to them and setting this up, and everybody who made the trip. It's been unreal. This is the first of many. That's right.
You all.
Just safe travels to everybody who came out wherever it was from out the United States. We got Missouri, we've got Carolina, we've got Washington State, we've got, of course, our great Valley of the Sun. So we can't wait for to get together again and watch this team play football as they continue to trend in the right direction under Jonathan Gannon.
Yep. For everybody in attendance, Damon, Dawg, Craig Morgan, Bo Brack, I'm Johnny Venerable. Congrats on the dub. We're back on a Monday. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.